Our next speaker is Cem, and he's going to talk about the NFT underground alpha channels and bots, a systematic problem. So let's welcome him to the stage. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cem. I'm the founder of Web3 Berlin startup Metone Machine, NFT.me, and I'm the producer of the Women Hackers Club, an omnichain ETH project that we launched this year with the beautiful artist Gisa Minter. But today I'm going to talk about NFT underground alpha channels and bots, and if it is a systematic problem. Well, let's dig in with a premise. NFTs are great. We all love them, but the question is for whom? Artists, brands, art-loving collectors, bots, or DJ and flippers? With the evolution from Web 2 to Web 3, it is becoming clear that NFTs are the cultural and the aesthetic baseline of decentralized Web 3. Of course, NFTs are building a new creator economy. They're helping us to build new communities with token-gated access. They are empowering artists around the world. They're creating a digital identity and adding many more layers. In theory, and due to the decentralized blockchain, except when it's not decentralized like Solana, NFTs are democratic, participatory, they are decentralized per creation, and accessible for everyone on the collector side and the creator side. Well, in theory, because most of these exciting and positive aspects I just mentioned are kind of currently losing. And we need to pay attention to what we are heading to. The underlying hypothesis, I guess, of this talk is that NFTs are currently only working as a financial incentive within a hyper-attention market, and if we do not find a solution for this, we will kill parts of NFTs as we love them. But there is still a chance that we can change that. So what are the questions to be answered in this talk within this 10 minutes I have? What are alpha channels? How do bots work in NFTs? How do they cause a systematic problem? How can you as a brand, artist, or creator actually take precaution? Well, alpha channels, a very little and short introduction on that. As humans, we love to share information with friends. We build structures and forms where we feel safe. Now, in financial, it works a little bit different, especially on the internet. When NFTs became a massive thing, early 2021, there was a major problem, and it still actually exists. Where do I find the artists? Where do I find the work that I can mint? And how do I get on the loudest? So many endeavors were trying to create NFT minting databases or upcoming drop websites. You might remember Rarity tools. You could actually feature your project there for 0.1 ETH. At the peak, it was 2 ETH. And platforms like NFT.com were actually charging $80,000 to get featured on their Instagram and websites. So getting the word out as a creator became very difficult. And as more and more projects came into the market, it was impossible to keep track what was minting as a collector as well. People started reorganizing in Discords. So there seemed to be a business opportunity there. Create a gated Discord alpha channel and pump and dump projects. Now, this is a very risky and expensive gameplay. Not all of those moves may have worked out, and it is very difficult to orchestrate masses to buy at the same time, and also the liquidity is very different than in DeFi. But it all got accelerated when the free mint phase of NFTs hit the market. Most successfully, you probably all know Goblin Town, and it became instantly a thing to try to reproduce that success with free mints. Well, simultaneously, on-chain NFT data metrics and tools were getting better. Nenzen AI, IC tools were becoming very popular, easy to access, and are still dominating that segment. With the premium versions of those tools, you can track minute by minute on-chain data on what is minting right now. At Nenzen AI, you can even see what whales or successful flippers are minting right now as well. Now, additionally, an even bigger problem was existing all the time, the annoying bots, right? Now, bots are a problem all over the internet. This is actually before, right? Bots were existing all over the internet. But in NFTs, bots can actually be smart contracts. Smart contracts that auto-mint on other contracts or marketplaces like OpenSea once a certain function has been triggered. So a bot would probably read the read function on the contract, and once something changes, for example, sale is active, it goes through, the bot would automatically use the write function in the contract, public mint, to automatically mint a project. Because of the so-called gas wars, and yes, 2021 gas wars was a thing, bots can also use the API of, for example, block native, and be much more accurate and obviously faster to adjust max fees for the next Ethereum block. One of the most successful bot stories is this 15-year-old kid who minted 225 Murakami flower seeds worth more than $2 million, while Murakami's, I'm a big fan, they were using email raffles for that project, and they received 4.9 million emails. It was impossible for the team to qualify or disqualify those registrations as bots. Now, there are clearly workarounds, but let's make a small break here and take a look at the question why this is actually causing a systematic problem. And I'm running out of time. I entered NFTs because of decentralization, the art and the empowerment of artists. I've discovered digital identity and much more that is worth taking a battle. But entering the NFT world is quite difficult. You see a lot of obstacles when you start with NFTs. You need to understand art, blockchain, technology. You need to understand how communities work. And ideally, you have to bring some sort of bankroll management with enough starting cash. People are very skeptical. Where's the value? Why do we need NFTs? Is this just a Ponzi? The basic fundamentals are already quite difficult and elite. This is obviously changing, but it is now changing because of large corporations like Meta are entering the space. However, we as a decentralized community could do better. It starts with the tools we built. If we add tools on top of this difficulty that are only financial incentives, what you create is a hyper-capitalistic trading activity. Platforms or bots like NFT Zensai or Zeta enable plenty of functionalities to automatically generate hundreds of wallets and automate from specific minting contracts. With aggregators like Genie, now Uniswap, Gem, OpenSea, and of course now Blur, with plenty of pro-trading features, they disregard the human engagement and purchasing experience of art. Personal taste, value of provenance, and any emotional attachment, all the things that the art market has been building upon, has been decreasing to an ultimate low at this point. Instead, rarities, trading volume, and many other indicators, such as influencers, are transforming NFTs in a purely financial instrument. How can we onboard 1 billion people with these conditions? But there's things you can do. In this talk, I can clearly not give you a complete solution. I'm really here to bring more awareness on what our behavior in this market is actually causing. However, as a creator or a brand, there are some precautions that you can take. It starts with your smart contract and ends with your front end. On both ends, you can add mechanics to make sure only people you allow to are actually minting. To disable contract minting, you can use so-called signature-based minting. This will make sure that users can only mint through your website and not through the contract, and it will disable contract bots. Now, if you have implemented an allow list, for example, using pre-mint, you can make sure that your allow list is unloopable. The classical loop is that I mint something, I send it to a different wallet, and I go back and mint again. This actually happened for Artifact and Clonix just a couple of weeks ago. On the front end, you could also use Merkle Tree, but I would suggest that you stick to signature-based minting. This will give you a much more dynamic approach and enable you to make modifications during the mint process. You can be creative. For example, you can enable specific holders of certain communities, let's say whoever is holding their dead fellas for the last 6 months is able to mint. That could increase the chance that you're adding valuable holders to your project and not quick flippers, which will leave your project and after a short period of time will hop over to the next money machine. Like Murat Pak did for the WikiLeaks drop, you could even be more radical and disable the transfer function of your NFT right in the contract. And there are plenty of other steps you can take which would not fit into this presentation. To sum up, it is in our hands that the NFT community does not become a Wall Street trading market, but keeps empowering artists, help us build smart and engaging communities, and most importantly, remains open to everyone around the globe. With Meta and others entering the space, it becomes clear that the decentralized community needs to take more responsibility and greater action to attack those quick flippers which are actually only causing harm. German sociologist Andreas Reckwitz uses the term hyperculture and cultural essentialism, where the society is responsible for what value we ascribe to something within a highly dynamic process. He calls this doing value. Within the NFT culture and with our new paradigms, we need to make sure to build tools that are doing value, besides adding only financial incentives. Thank you so much. And I'm around if you want to have a chat. I would love to meet you.